Pushed by grassroots activists across the country, congressional Democrats are heating up their opposition to Trump's cabinet picks, blocking a vote on two of Trump's cabinet nominees and delaying another, the day after Trump fired the acting attorney general for not complying with his ban on Muslim refugees and migrants. Billionaire education privatizer Betsy DeVos was approved by a Senate panel on party lines by a 12-11 vote and heads to the full Senate for a confirmation vote. But massive popular opposition has pushed at least two Republican senators to say they have reservations about her and may vote against her. One more Republican is needed to block the confirmation if all Democrats vote against DeVos as expected. For our interview with the Chicago public school teacher who says DeVos is a truly frightening education secretary nominee, go to therealnews.com or click the link below. Democrats were able to postpone a vote over Jeff Sessions to be confirmed as Attorney General until Wednesday, dealing a blow to the man many consider the most anti-immigrant senator in Congress. Democrats connected him with Trump's ban on Muslims. But perhaps the biggest news came when U.S. Senate Democrats boycotted a planned committee vote on two of President Donald Trump's cabinet nominees, Steve Mnuchin as Treasury Secretary and Tom Price, who's picked to head the Health and Human Services Department. At least one Democrat must be present for the committee votes to take place. In Mnuchin's case, the Columbus Dispatch cited documents showing that One West used automated robo-signings, a method for approving mortgage documents that was criticized for not fully considering them, after the former Goldman Sachs executive and One West chairman flatly denied those practices to senators. Senator Ron Wyden said Democrats also wanted more information about a Wall Street Journal article that said Price received a privileged offer to buy a biomedical stock at a discount, contrary to his congressional testimony this month. Price had testified the discounted shares he bought were available to other investors at the time, but the Journal said, in fact, he was one of the fewer than 20 U.S. investors who were invited last year to buy the discounted shares. On Monday, Acting Attorney General Sally Yates was fired by Trump after refusing to defend his immigration ban in courts. Her likely replacement, Senator Jeff Sessions, questioned Yates about disobeying illegal orders at Yates' confirmation hearing in 2015.
I think the Attorney General has a responsibility to say no to the president if he asks for something that's improper. A lot of people have defended the Lynch nomination, for example, by saying, well, he appoints somebody who's going to execute his views. What's wrong with that? But if the views the president wants to execute are unlawful, should the Attorney General or the Deputy Attorney General say no?
Senator, I believe that the Attorney General or the Deputy Attorney General has an obligation to follow the law and the Constitution and to give their independent legal advice to the president.
Republicans have said if Yates couldn't follow the order, she should have resigned. But Sue Udry, executive director of the Bill of Rights Defense Committee, Defending Dissent Foundation, disagrees.
Sally Yates was doing exactly what she is charged to do by the Constitution. She was standing up to the president who was issuing an illegal order. And that's exactly what we've heard Senator Sessions during her confirmation hearing demanding that she promised to do. He wanted to make sure that she was going to act independently of the president should he order something that she deemed to be illegal or unconstitutional.
She says the Obama administration has put in place dangerous precedents that Trump has inherited.
I think nobody can argue that that Obama didn't set us up for this exact situation that we're facing right now. The Intercept has just released some documents about some FBI documents revealing the absolute lack of pretty much any restrictions on their authority to investigate minorities and dissidents and journalists. And so the journalists who were arrested on Inauguration Day, that was done by the DC police, and I'm not sure what influence the Trump administration may or may not have had over that. And we also need to recognize that there were people, non-journalists, arrested for whom the police really seemed not to have any individualized suspicion that they were engaged in any criminal activity. So the over 200 people who were arrested as a whole, that raises concerns because generally the DC police have been fairly respectful of protester rights and the ability for people to engage in First Amendment protected conduct in the streets of DC. So that's a concern. Of course, but also what we're looking at right now is these enormous powers that the FBI has to infiltrate and monitor and harass dissidents and minority groups, which they were doing under President Bush, under President Obama. And those two presidents were clearly less afraid of dissent than Donald Trump is. So yeah, we're tremendously worried and organizing to prevent the FBI from becoming an absolute tool of President Trump to crush dissent.
Stay tuned to TheRealNews.com for coverage of Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee expected to be announced Tuesday evening. This is Jessel Noor.